Welcome to Martinsville, aka the Paperclip. This challenging 0.526 mile short track is almost flat, featuring tight 12-degree turns. Some describe it as two drag strips joined by two hairpin corners. Today, Doghouse Racing League's Auto Pro Truck Series drivers battle it out on the track, where many times luck wins out over handling and horsepower. Jonathan Jennings enters the race, winning 3 out of the 4 races, and a 37-point lead over Chris Leftwich, who himself has put together a solid start to the season. Get you a drink and some snacks. You don't want to miss any of this one. Let's go short track racing with the Auto Pros Truck Series.
Yeah, Daniel, I think we're in for a fun one tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. The first short track of the season. I was doing a little research earlier today, and we've raced here 3 times. We have an average of 8 cautions per race. We've had 3 different winners. So, it really makes you wonder, what is this race going to be won on? Is it going to be, short run speed, long, or are we going to get a long run? It's going to be some type of strategy to where somebody comes and pits at just the right time. Who knows? Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, when we look at, the race analysis for tonight, you got 150 laps. Stages are going to end at lap 38 and 75. Realistically, you can go, 130 to, all the way up to probably 140, almost a full distance, 150 laps on fuel, depending on cautions. But I think with tires, you're going to see the pit window between 65 and 75. Probably later in the run, you get a caution. I imagine you're going to see the whole field come down and pit and take them tires.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's, and maybe at some point somebody says, all right, I need the track position, so I'm going to stay out, which sometimes that leads to chaos. You got somebody on worn tires at the front and everybody else on 4 fresh ones. That's not usually a very good recipe right there. So should be interesting. Now, if whoever does that can survive, of course, they've got some good track position, especially if a quick caution comes out and they're not part of it.
Yeah, and while we're waiting on them to finish up practice here to get ready and qualifying, why don't we pull up the standings and see where everybody's sitting at right now? So you got Jonathan Jennings going to be your points leader, followed by Chris Leftwich. He's 37 points behind. Still pretty early in the season. I think, anybody in the top, what do you say, top 5, looks like they're in striking distance with the stage points to be able to, get some good stage points, get a win, and be able to challenge Jennings for this top spot.
Yeah, you got to remember those drop races. Some of these guys here will, start looking really good if they start getting some really good finishes right now. They'll drop the first couple, maybe that wasn't so good, and before you know it, they're right back into it. So, but I agree. I think your top 5 here just been pretty rock solid, this season. So I think that's where it's, it could come down to those, but who knows? Somebody else could start showing their hand a little bit as we go through the season.
Yes, sir, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to let you take over for just a second. I need to look at a volume issue, and I'll be right back.
All right. All right, everybody. Again, let's go down through the point stand. For Leftwich, Steve Gerber, Carson Burrows, and Mike Leftwich. Mike is not too far out of it, with some stage points and a couple good finishes. He's right back in it. Kevin Brown's had some really good runs, had some bad luck a couple of times. So he's definitely got the car, a truck that can actually come back this season and definitely hop his way on up the points. Then you got Eric Anderson, Jonathan Smith, Christopher Simon, Mark Dumont, Josh Cully. Then you get back to Tyler Millette and Bill Gentry. That can't run every week based on work schedule, and Bill also does a lot of our race control as an admin around here. So again, we see these top 10. I'd say top 11 guys are in it, and we'll see what happens as the season goes with these guys. And we'll just talk a little bit now about the practice. I mean, right now you got Jonathan Jennings, which is really the fastest on the track. If you look at your average, your 10-lap average, Carson Burrows seems to be the fastest when it comes to 10-lap average. Now, there's traffic and different things around here on this practice session that wrecks in front of you. So we'll see how that shakes out as we get the race going. But you can see is definitely Jonathan and Carson are the top two on the board. But then you got Chuck Sweeting right behind them, and Kevin Brown and Christopher Simon has got some really good speed as well.
Yeah, and I've been watching Carson Burrows week in, week out, and he's been right there on Jonathan. I'm thinking one of these nights we're going to see him get his first win at Doghouse, and we've seen Chuck Sweeting be really fast on Tuesday nights in the Gen 4 series. So I think tonight's probably best night of any for them three to challenge each other for the win.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. These guys, they do have one faster pair tonight as every week. Definitely could come into account here tonight. But I think another thing that's could play into to the race is it's got a 25x before you would get disqualified. But at 17x, you start getting pass-through penalties. So at 17x, 21x, you get pass-throughs. 25x, you would get a DQ. And a lot of times here, the incidents aren't your fault. But also, you've got to be aware where you put your car and what kind of risk versus reward at times. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I can see that as a issue as we get further in this race if we start seeing the caution flags fly.
Yeah, you can rack up some penalty points real quick at a short track, especially something that's not your doing, and you make contact pretty regularly. It's going to be minimizing that contact where you're not actually getting any X's, just maybe just a slight bump. And speaking of bumps, do you think we're going to see a bump and run?
It's possible. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, the whole thing is, you didn't never want to turn a guy, so bumping them, move them up the track is pretty fair here. And as long as you've tried to pass clean once or twice, and then if you need to bump them, move them up the tracks and get around, that's good. But hopefully there's no dump and run, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it's still a long season. You don't want to do that now and make somebody mad.
Nah, these drivers have good memories here. I mean, again, they'll remember because there's more short tracks on the schedule, so they'll definitely remember at the next one. Heck, they may remember next week. So,
yes, sir. So we got about 45 seconds left to practice, and still sitting at the top of the board is going to be Jonathan Jennings. I think he's going to be the one to watch tonight for a while at least.
Yeah, I mean, he won 3 out of 4 races. So yeah, you've got to say that he's definitely one of the favorites to win. Like I said, but then you got Carson Burrows has been so close. Chuck Sweeting is really good driver as well. So, I mean, looking down through here, I mean, I see, I'd say 7, 8 people, drivers here that could win this race. And actually, any of them could win. I mean, just survive. It's a good possibility here. But, 7 or 8 that, seeing their consistency and just knowing how good of short track racers they are, there's a good chance that they could, win. So,
all right, we're going to switch over to qualifying now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We know, Mike had issues. I think it was Will or something last week, so he couldn't put on a qualifying lap to try to get another pole. But so this is gonna be neat. I mean, starting up front here is important. I mean, because you want to be out of the crap, as a lot of people would say. So, it's like you don't want to be the further out in front, the better. And again, one of the other things at these tracks too is, you got to understand everybody has different braking points. So that can also be an issue, even if you're out in front. The driver behind you has to be aware of that you're going to be braking going into these tight corners. And if they brake too late, you wind up spinning. So, hopefully we don't see too much of that, but that's usually what happens here at Martinsville. That and people just getting loose off of 2 and 4 also happens a good bit here to call and can collect a lot of drivers doing that.
Yeah, staying on top of your brake bias and starting off with the correct brake bias and not hitting that brake too hard is going to be very important tonight.
Yep. See, Jonathan Jennings puts down a really fast lap there, around a 273. That's faster than what he ran in practice by about 1/10. So let's see if Carson can do the same thing. But again, we'll see. It's like Mike Leftwich. I was kind of checking out some of these other cars on the track, and it looks like Mike Leftwich had crashed during his qualifying run here, so he only is going to have that one lap to fall back on tonight. And he's not the only one that's doing that either.
And we actually have a couple of penalty reports to go over from last week. We got what I believe it's 2 drivers that's going to start at the back and have to do a pass through after some incidents last week.
Yeah, we do. We've got the 43 and the 14 is going to start at the back and do some drive-throughs. Just some. No, they didn't do it. It was just they just had a little incidents during the race and didn't call them. That's nothing. A lot of people. It doesn't mean that they didn't. Wasn't sorry about it. It's just they didn't know if it was their fault. But that's just the league rule that we have to go to. But the 2 drivers, they normally would call that stuff if they knew and actually could do knew it was them. So, but either way, they got to do a pass through, and it's part of racing, as we know. This one is unfortunately this EOL with a pass through at Martinsville. It's probably going to cost you a lap or 2 up front, but again, there's cautions. So cautions mean lucky dogs and wave around. So I think there's a good chance those drivers can probably get their laps back during this race and still salvage a decent finish.
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's 150 laps, a long time. Like I said, there's going to be cautions. So good thing is early. Get your lap back at a caution and move on from there.
Exactly. You can't really dwell on the penalties or the wrecks here. You just kind of got to, at that point, just get out on the track and try to do something about it. Try to make up the ground the best you can. Be patient. Try not to overdrive to where you wreck again, and just wait, because at some point you're probably going to have a chance to get the time you lost to get it back at least.
Yeah. And interesting to see the 25 of Jonathan Jennings and the 24 of Justin McMahon starting 1 and 2. I was seeing in our side chats earlier today of some 50-50 and some stuff they were talking. So it sounded like they're having a good time with that. So that should just ironic that they're starting side by side.
Yeah, and Justin, out of all of our starters here, is the only one that's won here. So we've had 2 other winners, and I believe Justin is the one that's in this field. Jonathan's had several top 5s as well, but Justin's good here, so let's see how it goes.
We before we get lined up, we want to go through our picks real quick.
Yeah. Again, I'm not gonna pick Jonathan. That's an easy pick. So, but I'm going with Carson Burrows. He's been close. I think he gets it done tonight.
Like that pick. I'm going to do Justin McMahon. Like I said, he's won here in the past, and I think he's going to be real fast, so I'm going to go with Justin McMahon. And then something new we're going to do this week is a wild card pick. So who's going to be the wild card that we think might come in and sneak in and get a win?
I say Chris Leftwich. I mean, he's a pretty good short track racer. So I guess he's a wild card. He's probably, to me, has a decent shot, but let's call him wild card. I think he's got a decent shot at things go his way, getting up there and getting this win.
I like it. All right. And as the drivers are getting gridded up, I guess we'll go through the starting lineup. I'll let you start, Danny.
All right. We got Jonathan Jennings starting on the pole with Justin McMahon to his outside. We got Christopher Simon starting third, and Jason Ross with a solid qualifying effort in fourth. Carson Burrows is going to start in fifth with Steve Gerber in sixth. Adam Wickel in seventh. Kevin Brown eighth. Mike Leftwich is ninth, and Jeffrey Engel will round out your starting top 10.
And starting 11th will be Michael Dow, followed by Chuck Sweeting. 13th will be Josh Coley and Jonathan Smith. 15th will be Eric Anderson and Chris Leftwich. 17th will be Mark Dumont. 18th, Gary Armijo. And that will round out your starting grid.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, we got 18 drivers. Sometimes these short tracks, the turnout's not quite as good just because some people see it as, hey, we're going to wreck, so let's take our drop here. So it's a really good chance for guys to really have a good point tonight and make some ground up and have a solid race going into the rest of the season. So let's like I said, we're going to start here in a one lap here. And let's see what happens. Another thing real quick is, again, we'll have the drivers, with the EOL drive-throughs, be curious to see where they come back out on the track at. Will it be while these guys are passing by, or will we get lucky and they can go out, to try to merge in just with nobody else around them? So let's see what happens with that. Hopefully it's just a non-issue here.
Yeah, and you're going to lose a lap, but you definitely don't want to lose two as we get ready to go green.
Yeah, we got Jonathan Jennings with Justin McMahon. We've already got a spin. We got Mike Leftwich spinning. That did not take long.
And we also had Steve Gerber get spun, looked like by Carson Burrows. See if we can get a replay and see what happened here. Looked like Mike just got in a little bit too deep, and same with Carson. Carson pushed up, got Steve Gerber. So just a short track, cold tires, and not a good start for some.
No, not at all. I mean, it's not the way you wanted to start it. Fortunately, it's not unexpected. Cold tires and trying to get everything you can get on a restart sometimes just doesn't work together.
It does look like Justin McMahon was able to get the lead from Jennings on that start, so he'll be in control of this race when we get to go back green.
Yeah, Justin got a good start there. He really got that top side rolling there, and I thought that's going to be really key. Now the question is, does he choose the outside now that he saw just how good it is on this next restart? I think he might.
If I was him, I had a good launch on that first start on the restart. That's probably where I'm going to pick is that high side.
Yeah, so we're just hearing some chatter here on who's taking the EOLs for that. Um, then some chatter on who's actually got the race lead. I think Justin said he was not in the race lead, so but who knows? Who knows what happened there? But Bill's our race control, and he's got it covered for sure. And we appreciate what he does because it's not going to be an easy job tonight. he might work harder than these drivers do.
Yeah. Well, while we got a minute, Bill is also part of our series sponsor of Auto Pros.
All right, we got some checking up here on the restart, but looks like they made it through so far. So we are better off than we were last time.
And Jennings is going to send it in there, take that lead back. He wants to get this lap led.
Yeah, I can't really blame him there. I mean, you want to control this race if you possibly can. Plus, he probably feels pretty comfortable with Justin behind him. They raced together a long time in this league, so probably knows it's going to be a fair and square, and he's not going to get dumped. So we got. Go ahead.
So you got Eric Anderson and Mark Dumont going in for their pass-throughs.
Yeah, I guess I'll be curious to see how they come back out on the track. Again, I think it'll be fine. I just think again, it's how many laps will they lose? Hopefully, no more than one.
Yeah, it's seen the 24 get into the corner coming out of turn 4. It looked like he might have got a little loose there.
Yeah, got Jason Ross. He's looking pretty good in third place here.
Yeah, and that little slip allowed Jennings to get to about a 1.5 second lead, so he's liking what he's seeing.
Yeah, he's really hoping that this gets strung out here and we can get some green flag laps in, and he can go out and get this first stage in his pocket here. And the longer run, the better for these guys out front. But at some point, you're going to catch lap traffic, and then that's where the fun begins.
Yeah. And got Jonathan Smith back here in the 16th position. He didn't have a good ending to his race last week, so I think he's probably trying to hang out back here at the back for a little while and see how things shape up.
Yeah, I think so. It was really bad too because he could, he really ran a good race, and it feels pretty bad when you run a good race and then at the end you have some issues like he had. So again, let's hope for a good race for him tonight because he's a really good driver, and I think that I think he can be in it for this championship as well if he can just get going with the season.
Pretty much everybody's single filed out at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you see the lead is kind of stabilized about 1.5 seconds, and that's about what I think I would expect right now. I think Justin will can maintain with Jonathan here. I would think they're both really good short track racers. But then again, you got Jason Ross that's looking really strong here in third place, and Christopher Simon as well. Then you got Adam Wickel, who has a really good run going. I know it's early, but heck, that's pretty good. Our wild card driver, Chris Leftwich in 6th place.
Yeah, I was looking at some of these trucks as it looked like Jeffrey Engel just got into Wickle a little bit. They
Yeah,
don't
he
keep it
did.
going.
I don't. Did he? I guess he saved it.
Yeah, he's saved it. He's dropping back. Oh,
Yeah, and then we got Dow just bounced off the wall. I don't know what's going on there. So I don't know if he got in too deep or what, but he got up into the wall. But yeah, it looks like Engel just got in there a little too deep, and unfortunate for Adam Wickle, it cost him a couple of positions.
yeah. And Engel looks like struggling at this point in the race. He's gotten to the wall just about every corner the last lap or two.
Yeah, he has, and yeah, he won't. Unfortunately, the incident points will really gather up on him pretty quickly if he keeps doing that. So, right now he hasn't got any incident points, but at some point, they'll start adding up if get in too many drivers.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 21 truck. I don't know if you can see it or not, Daniel. Looking at the rotor on his right front, I think his might be glowing more red than anybody's. So, which that means he's using a lot of brake right now to get this truck slowed down and turning these corners.
Yeah, he really is. He's running in pretty deep and pretty hard on the brakes. He's doing a good job of keeping it tight in the corners, so he's running a good line. I guess the question is, how is that going to go the rest of the race? I really don't know as far as, how that's going to impact the tires. I'm guessing it's not good, but on the other hand, who knows?
Yeah.
It really just depends on what the model iRacing has going here. But I do think he's running good. I mean, he's setting some decent lap time. So yeah, I mean, it's working right now.
We got a good battle between the 33 Kevin Brown, the 8 of Steve Gerber right now. So
Yeah, and one thing we're gonna have, they're gonna get to lap traffic here really shortly, and that's gonna stack this field up most likely.
yeah, and as a leader, you need to get through that lap traffic as quickly as you can, but without incident. That way you don't allow that second place adjustment man to start reeling you in and gaining ground on you.
Yep, and Jonathan's probably pushed it out about another 3/10, so it's not like huge. Justin has a good, comfortable lead over Jason Ross and Christopher Simon, and then you got Chris Leftwich is moved into the top 5 here.
Yeah, really good run by Leftwich so far this race.
Yeah, watching his line he's really running some very consistent laps. I mean, he's wrapping that bottom really nice. So I tell you, he keeps running like that. He's gonna be up there with them tonight. He's just, like I said, he's just driving what seems to be really consistently here in both corners of the track. And he's pulling in on his teammate, Christopher Simon, here.
You got the 7 of Gary Armijo, our biggest mover currently, up 10 positions on the night. So a good run for him so far.
Yeah, it really is. And Gary's pretty good at short tracks as well. He's got some experience on them. So I think he'll do good. Again, he's had some rough luck here this season. But again, he's hopefully he can get at least a solid top 10 tonight. That'd be a really good run for Gary. It's like Simon's pulled back out on Leftwich just a little bit, not a whole lot, but he put a couple tenths on him.
Yeah. And right now your leader Jennings is set sail. You got 2.6 second lead.
Yeah, he's in the last 4 or 5 laps. He's putting a couple tenths a lap, and look at the 10 lap average. He's right at 1/10 faster than Justin McMahon. So really, if you look back through this, I'd say got Christopher Simon is, if you look at the overall, he's right there with Jonathan on the 10 lap average. But then you got Jason Ross and Justin. That's not far behind there at all. But I tell you, Josh Cully's also putting together some pretty good lap times here as he has moved up to 7th position.
Then he's up 6 positions from where he started. And, watching Josh the past couple of weeks, seems to like to start in the back, and we know he's going to be a factor towards the end of it. He starts back in the back, kind of stays out of trouble, and then whenever it counts to the end, he's there to strike.
Yeah, he is. He's a really good. I mean, honestly, he's a really good driver, but he knows how to. He really knows. He's got a strategy for these races, and they all seem to start from the back. And like you said, he wants to stay out of trouble, methodically work his way up through the field, and then he's always there at the end. So he's going to be a factor in this. Again, as long as you can stay out of trouble at this one. And right now we've got after having a pretty rough start to the race, we've got a very good little green flag run going here.
It's like an early pit stop being made by Jeffrey Engel. He's coming out the pits now. If he had some damage that needed to get fixed, or if this was planned by him.
Yeah, I think it's probably damage. Just seeing, how I think he's hit the wall a few times makes you wonder if he's had a little bit of a, tire issue there that he needed to get taken care of. And that was really close right there between him and Mike.
Yeah. It looked like a little contact, but no harm, no foul. Everything's good.
No, it's really tight in the corners, and it's not easy.
As Mike goes up way high.
Oh yeah, he overdrove that corner. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's...
Hopefully Engel can keep it. Oh.
Oh, nope, he couldn't.
Is Mike going to save it? Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, that
Michael
is not good.
comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike just, I think overdrove that corner a little bit. Unfortunately, Engel came up a little bit on him and turned him. At least that's what I see from the first look.
I don't see any required damage for Mike, so I think, we're 40 laps in. It's, good time. Go ahead and make that pit stop, get the damage repaired, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. So what do you think? We're 39 laps in. You think we're going to have a... Yep, I guess we do. They're pitting.
The pit window was, it's a little bit early, I think, but I think at this point, why not? Cautions out, everybody come in, get some fresh Goodyears and go back out.
Yeah, I mean, pit under green here, you're losing 2 laps, right? At least probably 2 laps. So I think it's probably definitely a good thing to go ahead and get them. And, again, some of these guys, at this point, no more, if you don't have any more caution flags, they can make it on the end. Now, they're going to make it to the end here, so it's going to be a long time on tires, like you said earlier, but it might not be a bad strategy for some of these guys if we go green.
It's looking like Mike Leftwich decided to stay out, and I don't think Jonathan Smith's a lap down, so I think he's staying out as well. Which is not what Eric Anderson wanted to see. He needed everybody to come to pit road so he could get the waiver around.
Yeah, because it looks like Mark Dumont got the lucky dog there, I'm guessing. So he's back on the lead lap. Looks like Jonathan Smith's pitting now. So maybe he was a lap down.
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean, he was pretty far back there, so, there is a good chance. Looks like Engel did get the wave around there.
These drivers with these fresh tires are going to have to be real careful with Mike Leftwich in front of him with 40-lap old tires.
Yeah, again, Mike's hoping probably for a quick caution or run, maybe 15, 20 laps, then get a caution. But, just hopefully he ends up on the next caution better than he did if they all need tires. If he doesn't, if not, then he's going to, fall to the back when he gets tires. So
He got a good launch on that start. I think you're going to see Jennings with these fresh tires just drive right by him. Adjustment man going to take over the second position, trying to chase down Jennings.
yeah, this is going to be really interesting here. I mean, right now, oh, there we go. We're spinning.
And it's going to be Chris.
And then he got T-boned. Kevin Brown could not get woed up there. Looks like Kevin Brown got a little bit of front end damage there. Chris Leftwich, though, I'm not sure exactly what happened on that.
So we can go back and see. Oh, it looks like Josh Culley drove it down a little bit, and Chris was coming back down and just made a little bit of contact.
Yeah, he took the OL on that, so that was good. I mean, unfortunate, Josh doesn't get in many of these wrecks at all, so it's just really hard at these short tracks. We know it's going to happen. So we're back now with Jonathan and Justin out in front. And you got Christopher Simon in third, and Carson is in fourth. So Mike Pitt from the fifth position just then, and he'll come back out at the back of this field here, and he's got plenty of time though to make that ground back up. Got a lot of laps left.
Definitely, we're not even halfway, so I wouldn't be worried at this point. While we have a caution, you want to take a moment and go over the sponsors for the league?
I do. I would like to go over to the sponsors for the league. We want to talk first about our series sponsor here, and that is Auto Pros. Auto Pros is your full-service auto center in Roxborough, North Carolina. They specialize in foreign and domestic transmission repair, but can also handle all of the everyday auto needs. ASE certified technicians are standing by to help you in your time of need. Call 336-322-3230, ask for Bill, and he'll make sure you get taken care of. And now we'll, guess we're doubling up here. We also want to thank Group 6 as a supporting sponsor here. And we'll get to their ad here in a little bit, but make sure you visit group6inc.com. For if you need websites, they're a creative marketing powerhouse in the industry. So make sure you get to their website and check it out. And especially if you're in the Vermont area, but I'm sure they can help you anywhere.
And we're back green with Jonathan Jennings getting a great launch on that restart. Justin McMahon getting challenged by Christopher Simon. Looks like he's going to hang on to that second place position. Simon's not giving it up, though.
No, he's not. I mean, the high side's a longer way around, but you can get one heck of a run off of that high side. So, looks like Justin is going to get it there as they go into turn 3. Like we are pretty much singled out throughout the field here at this point. So we'll see if we can make a few more green flag laps.
Somebody we haven't talked about much tonight is the 75 of Chuck Sweeting, but he has slowly been working his way towards the front of this group.
Yeah, he's picking them off one at a time now, so he's about to move into 4th position. So it looks like he is ready to be a factor in this race.
Carson
Adam
Burrows.
Wickle.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Adam Wickles had a good recovery after that little incident earlier.
Jonathan Smith got a black flag on that restart, looks like. Seeing him going down pit road serving that penalty.
Yeah, I don't know what that's for. I mean, he's got 0 incident points, so I almost wonder if he, sped on pit road or something happened. I'm not sure what it was, so that's pretty strange. Oh, we got Mark Dumont spinning back in the field, but he kept it straight. But we did get a caution. But this is exactly what Eric Anderson wants to see.
It is. And it looks like it's going to be for the 75 of Chuck Sweetie.
Yeah, did he wreck too? Because I saw Mark Dumont also spun. So, but that would explain because Mark kept going. Yeah, that would be So the caution is on. Yep, Chuck Sweeting. Yeah, so we had Dumont spin a little bit before that, but he was able to keep it going. Sweeting was not. So, but he kept it off the wall. So that he's got a truck left. That's a good thing.
Yeah, those corners can be deceiving sometimes. You drive it in a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper till you find I drove it in too deep and the truck comes around on you. It looks like that might have been what happened to him. So.
Yeah, you want to. Your whole goal here is get everything you can out of it, I guess. This is one of those tracks, though. You got to be really easy on the throttle coming out. It can get away from you pretty easily. And then if you run it too deep in there, when you get it on the brakes, it can come around as well. So
Eric Anderson going to get his lap back and going to be in this thing to challenge here at the end of it now. That's going to leave us with only one car a lap down at this point. It would be Jonathan Smith is 2 laps down. Or I'm sorry, 3 laps down.
Yeah, so I guess he got a hold penalty. He must have got one of the 40-second holds that iRacing puts on you. I really am not a fan of those, but I guess it is what it is at this point. But I would hope a drive-through would be plenty for some of these penalties, but it is what it is. Everybody gets the same penalty, so I guess it's fair. But I hate it for Jonathan Smith. Again, we just talked about earlier. He had a rough race last week, and now his race is going bad. But yeah, I see 3 laps down, but it's not out of the possibility that he doesn't get every one of them 3 laps back. He is the only one that is a lap down at this point, so he would be the lucky dog candidate.
Yeah, I imagine you're going to see him kind of lay back a little bit, get a little distance between himself and the next car, and that way if something happens, he's not making contact, so he can start getting some waiver rounds and lucky dogs. All right, it's going to be Jonathan Jennings and Justin McMahon on your front row again for this restart. Justin, both of the last the last restart and this restart, looks like he's struggling to either find the grip or get it going. But then he gets a good run coming at it too.
Yeah, we had Dumont, Mark Dumont again. It looks like he's spun or got spun. Looks like that would be. Yeah, you can check it out, but.
See, clean there. It looked like him and Engel just come up, made contact. I can't tell if. See if we can get a closer view of this.
Yeah.
Maybe he come up a little bit into Engel. I'm not sure there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either what exactly happened, but again, Jonathan Smith just got a lap back. So um, again, there's one of the three.
Let's see.
All right, so I guess we'll re-rack them and try again. We're on pace for those 8 cautions, by the way.
Is that what we said? 8?
Yeah, 8 is the average of the 3. Well, actually, it's 23 in 3 races, so just a shade under 8 per race. So let's see. Hopefully we're done. Let's get us a good green run to the end. I'd love to see how this tire wear does on a long run, and which people, who will try to make a pit stop. Are they going to try to run it all the way? I'm thinking now you run it all the way at this point. I think, but I think if you get another caution here in about 10, 15 laps, I think that's probably 4 tire territory again.
I would agree. All right, we're going to line them up. You got Jonathan Jennings. You're going to lead us to green. Just McMahon sitting in second. Christopher Simon in third. Carson Burrows in fourth. And Jason Ross rounding out your top 5.
Mind everybody, if you're in the YouTube right now watching us, feel free to tell us who you think's going to win this race.
Simon still challenging McMahon. McMahon holding strong on that outside.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody could get that outside rolling. I just feel like it would be really, really good. But again, at some point, you may have to utilize that to make a pass to get around some of these guys that's just going to hug the bottom. But Justin seems to be able to get a really good run off that corner, so that it makes you wonder. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, Burrows got in there, hit that brake, and hit it a little too much.
Yeah, I think that was a good for him to back off enough not to spin Simon there.
I believe Dumont had to go serve a penalty for too many incident points and had to drive through. I believe that penalty is, if I'm not wrong, Dana.
Yeah, I don't think he's only got 4, so not sure what it was for. He must have done something else. As Adam Wickel a little bit, or Wickel last bounced off the wall and hit Kevin Brown, but they was able to keep it. Oh, and then Kevin Brown comes down and he hits Mike. So yeah, that wasn't a good series of events there for these guys running mid-pack there.
No, and Mike, if it wasn't for bad luck, he hadn't had any luck tonight.
No, that's about right.
You got the leader coming up on Dumont that's going to probably try to, we'll see, he's going to give it to him. So good call on Dumont's.
Yeah, he did a really good job there staying high. I mean, it looks like he's 3 laps down at this point. Yeah, and had to serve some type of penalty there, so I'm not really sure what it was for. Must have been some type of pit. Kevin Brown got in a little too deep, but he saved it.
Some of these drivers starting to really struggling at this point in the race.
Yeah. This track can really mentally wear on you, the stopping and the going. You really just want to get in the rhythm of these short tracks, and when you stop, it seems every few laps for these cautions, it really wears on you in a way, because your car is going to handle differently every time. You know, your tires cool off, then you heat them up, then they cool off again. So you're going to have, you know, so you really don't know what to expect a lot. And these trucks can be a little slippery on cold tires. Got another near dust up there.
Oh,
And
Eagles going to go around. No caution. Not caution's going to come out.
Yep. Well, I was hoping they could get away with that one, but it looked like in the end there.
That's giving it a little too much throttle on that low lane coming out. But like he got a little bit of right front damage on that one.
Yeah, I think actually what happened there was, you know, you had Adam Weichel started coming down the track, and Cully had to avoid him, and when he went to avoid him, he hit the 89 and spun the 89. So it's been, you know, again, it was kind of just a domino effect there. There just wasn't enough time there. Just the way people had to react there. So we got some folks taking tires, and we got some folks staying out.
It's probably a good time for us to take us a break real quick and let us reset for this next green flag run.
That sounds fantastic to me. All right. Well, that didn't turn out well. We came back to the same way we left, man. Yeah, it was multiple wrecks. Yeah, I'll let them sort that out for sure. I think it was a big chain reaction. So, but again, I mean, we still got a lot of laps to go, so hopefully we can get this going, and at some point run some laps here.
Yeah. It looks like Justin took the UL for that one.
Yep. So let's try it again.
When we go back green, looks like Carson Burrows is going to be your new race leader, with Chris Leftwich in second. Jennings will be third, Ross will be fourth, and Christopher Simon will round out your top five.
Yeah, looks like we should get some waiver rounds here. Looks like Mike got the lucky dog, and looks like we'll have some waiver rounds for some of these other guys that was not able to get ahead of the pace car. So let's talk about Group 6 here. Rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse racing season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity to outshine and outperform. Discover more at group6inc.com. All right, looks like we're ready to give it another shot.
Yeah, and so much action. Done forgot to even discuss stages tonight, but we've passed our 2-stage breaks, or not break, but stage ends.
All right, that was a pretty rough restart right there. But we've got Carson Burrows taking the lead here with Chris Leftwich in second. Jonathan Jennings has got back up to third. See just how fast Jonathan can see if he can get by these guys.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't get too much damage from that contact with him and Engel on that last restart.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I mean, just looking at his truck right now, he seems to be running pretty good, but a little damage can cause a push that you didn't have before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So hopefully,
Engel's got a black flag.
Yeah, that you've got Engel with a black flag for too many incident points. And you've got Kevin Brown. He's about one incident point away from serving one. So we've got several people here that's really close to having to serve a black flag. But Engel's the first one, and I think we'll have more coming here shortly.
Unfortunately. Jennings is going to look to go up under his teammate and dove it in there going into turn 3.
I kind of have a hard time telling them two trucks apart.
Me too.
They're a little bit different, but the same color. So, yeah, two good-looking Shoney's trucks there. Shoney's a longtime league sponsor here, and if you're ever out in the West Virginia area, go visit the Shoney's.
We've got Shoney's
and yeah, and unfortunately, that was their other teammate, Mike Leftwich, had spun. I also believe Jason Ross spun as well, so we've got a couple more.
Let's try to see what happened with Ross. Nah.
Yeah, just got on the brakes a little too hard, it looks like.
It'll get you here.
So that was the thing. It was a couple of single car spins there, so it wasn't terrible. Nobody else, but again, we have to go back through the whole caution again. I have not been keeping up with the cautions, but I have a feeling we've been to at least 8.
We are currently sitting at 8, and we have had 7 lead changes, and we have been able to make 65 green flag laps. So.
Well, that's not. I guess it's not terrible, but we've run 91 now. So again, we've got a. Like I said, I hope. I'm really hoping we get a green flag run here to the end. Again, I think. Tire wear can play into this. That can cause a shakeup throughout the field here as we get going. But again. Right now, with all these short runs, we're not, it's going to be short run speed that wins this race. Who cares about tire wear, I guess, if it keeps going like this. But let's see what happens as Carson Burrows will be the one to choose here. And I have a feeling he'll choose the inside. Then you'll have Jonathan Jennings up there ready to pounce on it and retake the control of this race possibly.
Yeah, and he is going to pick the inside. Jonathan Jennings in second. Chris Leftwich in third. Chris Simon in fourth. And Steve Gerber in fifth. Again, we see another race with Shoney's having just about all their teammates right here in the front.
Yeah, that's 3 out of the 4 right here in it to win it at the end. So again, Mike's still not out of this thing. I mean, he's currently running 12th. He is on the lead lap, so I got a chance to get that 4th truck up there.
Yeah, and Burrows gets a good launch on that start. Jennings got a good start as well. Going to be right there on that back bumper.
Yeah, looks like Jennings is going to try to get a run off here as he goes high. Christopher Simon on the high side as we got Chuck Sweeting taking that spot as he moves into 5th position.
Jennings all over the back bumper of Burrows.
Yeah, Burrows not going to want to give this up. We got Steve Gerber drove it in there and got underneath Chris Leftwich. He's going to try to take that 3rd position. Let's see if Chris can get a drive off. Looks like he got a little tight, though, on exit, and that's going to allow Chuck Sweeting to possibly get a little run here on him. All right, looks like
Jennings is gone.
Yeah, it looks like Carson came down, tried to block that line, and Jennings was there.
50-50?
Yeah, I don't know if that was 50-50. I think Jonathan went, and I think Jonathan went down and Carson went. But again, it was at this point of the race, you want to keep that lead if you can. So either move.
We got a caution.
I think it was okay. Yeah, we had one. Yeah, Justin McMahon was caught up in that one. I'm not sure who else. Oh, wow.
Felt like Gary was just going there a little bit too hard.
I think if you look back here, I think we got Weichel got into Gary and just absolutely sent him into Justin. From what I see.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think. Yep.
What's the radio sounding like over there? We got some tempers going yet, or pretty tame?
I mean, hasn't. I haven't. Bill's keeping pretty good control of this race so far. I mean, he's definitely got his hands full, but I haven't really heard any tempers yet. Yeah, I think Adam Weichel's going to take that EOL. So, so far I haven't heard tempers. Now, I'm sure there's a few people here that knows why Martinsville was taken off the schedule at one point for our league. So again, it was the same thing. Just so many cautions, and you can have some really good races here, but again, you're gonna have caution flags. But if you watch NASCAR on TV, real life racing, it's the same thing here. So it's just the breaking points. People get into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eric Anderson's been able to make a nice recovery after his early having a server penalty, got spun at one point, back up to 8th place now. So a good recovery for him.
Yeah, and Eric's a good short track racer. I mean, when we used to run the short track series here in the league, Eric ran a lot of those races, and he's a really good short track racer. So that's not surprising at all to me that he, now that he got his laps back, he's got a really good chance to salvage what could have been a pretty rough night into a really good points night.
We got Steve Gerber going to start on the outside of Jennings this time. See what he can do.
Yeah, Jonathan with another really good start. We got it's like Chris Leftwich is going to be able to take that second position. Just like you got Christopher Simon taking over the fifth position. And Carson Burrows seems to be going backwards here on, I think he's at a little tire deficit of some of these guys here. So let's see if we can, like I said again, let's see if we can get some good green flag laps going here. Justin seems to be moving on up through the field after he had to took the EOL earlier. He's worked himself back up to 8th position. We now have 15 cars on the lead lap.
And we got possibly a battle starting to heat up at the front. Christopher Leftwich has been able to hold strong with Jennings. 43 laps to go, so see if he can stay up there, if Jennings is going to pull back to that.
Well, fortunately, we got another caution as Gary Armijo lost it at the top of the track, and Dumont got him just a little bit. I think Gary's truck is probably going to be okay, but Mark, I think, left his bumper somewhere on the track.
Yeah, it's unfortunate timing for Dumont on that one.
Yeah, it was just wrong place, wrong time. And
leader's going to come down. I like this call.
Yeah, I think you've got to at this point. I think, especially, you got Chris Leftwich, though. He says, I'm staying out. I want the track position. Jonathan Jennings, I think, with the amount of people that came down with him, I think he'll be okay. We had a few, takers that stayed out, which means the wave around cars are not going to be very happy. I mean, Adam Michael got the lucky dog there, so we'll put him back on the lead lap. Mark Dumont wouldn't have, he would have probably maybe got a wave around, but he was part of that wreck, so he's still 2 laps down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this call of staying out. I mean, I get it. You want the track position. I would have rather a caution come out at 125 if it were me, but man, once they start back going, I'm not sure how these older tires are going to be able to hold up to the fresh tires. But you never know. The fresh tires got to get through the old tires, and that can be a challenge itself. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. So, you've got some, some cars. 6, if I'm looking at this right, you've got 6 cars that's going to be ahead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars that's going to be ahead of Jonathan here. So, he's going to have some traffic to get through.
Yeah, and we know we were talking about Jonathan Smith earlier, 3 laps down. Now he's sitting in the 4th position.
Yeah. Again, happy for him to get back up there. He's got a chance at a good finish. I guess the question is, how long does it take these 4 tires on these trucks? You don't have a whole lot of green flag laps on these other cars. I do think Chris Leftwich, if he can get out there, I think he's got a good enough truck that he can make it good. As Engel, I don't know what happened on the first part of the restart there, but got Engel, and then we got Gary Armijo also was it in a wreck in the back.
Don't look now. You got Josh Cully trying to run down Chris Leftwich to challenge for that lead position.
Yep.
Man, this guy just shows week in, week out. Starts in the back, stays out of trouble for the most part, and he's there at the end. I love it. Ooh, as you see, Jonathan Smith getting a little bit too deep there, but he was able to save it.
Yeah, some of these guys are really, you're going to have to really, they're trying to get everything out of these tires they can that's left on their trucks.
Yeah. I think it's going to be hard to hold off these guys with these fresh tires for the amount of laps we had left.
Yeah, it is. Chris has a good lead. Unfortunately, Jonathan made it through to second place. Well, there we are at caution. I'm not sure what that was for.
Looks like it was Jeffrey Engel again, and he's wrecking still. I think that might have just done him in for the night with incidents.
Yeah, I think he's got a few more. I mean, he's got 5 more, but he would have to do. Yeah, he's got 20 now. But I think at this point he disconnected, and I have to say that's probably a good idea. At this point, it's you had the night he does. It's time to let's get up here and let's try again another day.
Yeah, it's been a struggle, some of a night for him, and short tracks aren't for everybody, and it's been a bad night. Call it quits and go ahead and get ready for next week.
Now, Chris Leftwich coming in for tires. I think he would have really loved to see this go to at least. He lost the lead. Then he could have, then hopefully that'll put some more laps on these other guys' tires and got some decent laps on them to where, maybe new tires would make a big difference. Unfortunately, right now, it's going to make a big difference for him, but unfortunately, they're not going to be much different than these guys that's in front. So he's got a fast truck though. He can come back through the field. He'll probably restart in about 15th position. So he'll have a good chance to come back up through and still get a good finish.
We're on our 11th caution of the night. Are we done?
No. I wish we were. I mean, I think we, at some point, these guys are going to start dropping out. Unfortunately, we only have 32 laps left in the race, which is, I guess that's fortunate. You got, you've had 2 drivers now. You got 1 driver that's out. You got several drivers that are just an incident away from getting the drive-throughs. So, we need to, we're going to see how that impacts us, because that could really mess up some of these guys on the lead lap of having a decent finish if you have to do a drive-through and go 2 laps down.
Yep. Taking us back green is going to be Jonathan Jennings, followed by Josh Cully, Chuck Switting, Jonathan Smith, and Justin McMahon rounding out your top 5. Jennings with another good start.
Yeah, he had a real good start. Looked like Josh Cully spun the tires. He's got older tires than these guys. Now you got Chuck Sweeting has now worked his way up into the 2nd position. Yeah, I guess it's this restart. Let's get everything we can get while the field's bunched up. That could lead to more issues, but hopefully we can keep it clean.
Chris Leftwich trying to set Kevin Brown up to make a pass on him to begin his path towards the front again. Jennings been able to pull out to a 0.8 of a second lead on Chuck Switting.
Yeah, I think at this point it's gonna be really hard to beat him. The only thing that somebody's gonna have to get the tire advantage on him somewhere in order to be able to overtake him. But we just had another wreck.
Looked like it was Adam Weichel and Jason Ross, I believe.
Yeah, looks like Weichel has disconnected. Which that would have. That was his 22nd incident, so he'd have had to do a drive through.
Well, I guess we'll be getting ready to reset them and try again.
Yeah, we'll give another shout out to Auto Pros here, real quick. Your full service auto center in Roxborough, North Carolina. They specialize in foreign and domestic transmission repair, but can also handle all of your everyday auto needs. ASE certified technicians are standing by to help you in your time of need. Call 336-322-3230 if you're in the Roxborough area, and ask for Bill. I want to give our other sponsors here. You got Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which is our series sponsor for the Gen 4 series that we have on Tuesday nights. Of course, Group 6 is our series cup sponsor, also a sporting sponsor in our other series. We've got Shoney's, who's a longtime sponsor, and our presenting sponsor of the Cup Series this season. Again, we've just thank you to all our sponsors, because we couldn't do it without them. And I'd like to ask anybody watching, if you can, hit that like button and hit subscribe and follow us here on Doghouse Racing TV to watch our Sunday night and Thursday night live streams. Well, here we go. Let's see what we can do. We've got about 32 laps to go, or 33 laps to go when we take the green. Actually, that's 23 laps to go when we take the green flag. It's like Jonathan Jennings got another really good jump. We got Chuck Sweeting, and then we had Steve Gerber get into Justin McMahon and run Justin up the track.
Yeah, I was watching as that unfolded. He went in there a little bit, or maybe more than a little bit too hot, and used Justin to keep him straight.
Yeah, it was successful. So, fortunately for Justin, he lost a few positions there. But we're still racing. We're sitting here and watching. Got Justin here right behind Chris Leftwich. We got Kevin Brown and Christopher Simon. Simon was running in the top 5 most of the night, so he's trying to work his way back up, as he's got he's running 10th right now.
I believe pretty much the whole field is single filed out at this point.
Yeah, I think if we can get some space between everybody, I think we'll be okay. Carson Burrows got a little... he got really swirly there, and Chris Leftwich stayed off of him enough so he could gather it back up. So that was a really close one right there, but that's going to allow Justin to close back in on Chris. As Carson Burrows continues in the 6th position, and we have a spin of Jonathan Smith.
It is going to bring out a caution.
And turn number 2. And, well, yeah, I think we might set the record here. Again, this is just short track racing. Again, it's Martinsville.
Yeah, that's going to put us at 13 cautions. If you got tires left, now might be a good time to take them if you have them.
This is your chance. I mean, honestly, this is your chance. You have probably enough laps to pick off, 5, 6 positions with some fresh tires. You're going to have to, but it's the time. You've got to do it.
I'm not sure if pit road was open that time or not, but if it was, nobody decided to go down. They might be out of tires.
Well, I think some of these guys got maybe a set left.
I don't know how
It
many we
looks
started
like
the night with.
I had 3.
3. Okay.
So I think I think Jonathan has 1 set left at this point. I think most of these guys has 1, but I could be wrong. I don't have anything to show that. So, but I think there's a few. But right now, I mean, it's kind of when you get back going green, you're probably looking at about 12, 13 laps left. Do they think tires is worth it, or is track position more important? Now, if I was in the back, I think I'd go stop and put some fresh ones on if I have them.
Yeah, I would have expected probably 7th, 8th of them back to have went down, but everybody decided to stay out, and we're going to try to finish this thing out. I'm not going to say the C word. I don't want to jinx us.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't think there's no jinxing at this point. I think we're is what it is, unfortunately. But again, these guys have sung in there, and which that's and really I haven't heard a lot of. I think they really know. Hey, this is short track, so it's gonna happen. I haven't really heard too many anger issues at this point, so that's a good thing. And it seems like people are calling their EOLs when they accidentally get and apologizing, so that's good to see too. So. Let's see what happens here as we got Jonathan Jennings again on the inside. Gonna get a good jump again. Josh Cully got a really nice start and may be able to clear Chuck Sweeting here if off of turn number 2. But Chuck's coming back to the outside.
You're getting to that point in the race too. You're probably going. Not that there has been a whole lot of give and take this evening, but that's probably definitely going to be out the window at this point. With 10 or coming up to 10 to go here soon.
Yeah, it really is. And you've definitely got some beating and banging going on back here. I don't think it's anything intentional by no means. They're just trying to get everything they can get. Justin McMahon got in there a little too deep, and unfortunately, he took Steve Gerber with him, and the 33 of Kevin Brown got into him as well. Well, in a minute we'll get the green-white checkered, and we're almost done. But it looks like we're going to have a restart to go with about 7 to go here. So, this was just Justin just got in a little too hot. Unfortunately, when he corrected, he went back up the track and wound up getting Steve Gerber again. And then Kevin Brown got into him, but I don't think it was too hard for Kevin.
No, but it does look like he did get the black flag for incident points.
Yeah, Justin did as well. She got Justin with a black flag there, and Kevin Brown. Mike Leftwich has been doing a good job. He's been riding with 16 for a while, so he's staying out of trouble. You've got Steve Gerber is probably about 1 incident away from getting his black flag. So, again, it's there's nobody with 0. I'll put it that way. Christopher Simon has the least on the track with 4.
I'm not sure if we're already on 2 to go, coming to 1 to go, or
I think we should be coming to. We should be coming to 1 to go. Yeah, we're doubling up.
Jennings
And then,
gonna.
yeah, so this one will be, Josh Cully so far has been able to, hang on with the quick cautions with, Chuck Sweeting. Carson Burrows is showing up here at the end, and Chris Leftwich has worked his way back up to 5th.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Chris has the freshest tires of everybody up here in the top 5, top 6.
Yeah, he does. He pitted after these guys just a few laps, but again, a few laps is a few laps, so that he does have the freshest tires. Oh, Josh Cully spun his tires and went up the track there. So, and then, but Chris Leftwich has made a move and he's up to 3rd. Oh, wow.
Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, it's looked like Burrows got in there pretty deep. About took the 13 with a spin, but here's another spin.
And
he kept it going.
you got a list full of black flags right now. I'll try to call them out to you. You got Carson Burrows, Mike Leftwich, Steve Gerber, Kevin Brown, and Justin McMahon all having to serve penalties.
Yep. So, yep. That's and we've got Mike Leftwich is now 1 incident away from the DQ. So, at 25. So this is getting really close. Hopefully Mike can hang on to the end here. Salvage a victor. But again, I don't know if we'll get, I guess we're not getting the green-white checkered. I mean, the green-white checkered here. I guess we should be close, though.
Yeah, and talking about Mike, if I'm him, I'm gonna go to as far back as I can go for the sake of points for the night, and just be happy with the worst he's gonna finish is probably maybe 11th, 12th.
Yeah, because if you get a DQ at this point, you could easily lose that 2 laps. Kevin Brown is back, so you would lose a position there. So, then you got. My thoughts are, you go back, you just take it easy. But again, these guys is going to have to serve this penalty under green.
Yeah, and it is going to be a green-white checkered.
So they're pretty much going to have to serve their penalty during that, or else they'll be black flagged at the end of the race, and they will lose positions there. So will there be more positions? I have no idea, but then they would have lost by pitting. But again, you need to serve your black flags if at all possible. Or iRacing will take that out of your finishing positions usually at the end. So green, white, checkered. Question is,
no.
Will we make it to the white? We got Christopher Simon has worked his way back up to 3rd. We just talked he was in 10th place just a little bit ago. Again, I think Simon's got some pretty fresh tires. Jonathan's, again, been the class of the field all night. Figure he can get a good jump and stay out in front of this, whatever happens behind him. But the good thing, he's got 2 Shoney's teammates that's holding back row 2. So hopefully we will see a pretty decent finish here.
All right, Jennings with a nice jump again. Chuck Sweeting will be able to clear Simon, hold on that 2nd position with a hard charging Chris Leftwich. Oh, teammates.
Keep it straight, though. They keep it straight. So, yeah, just trying to get everything you can get. Chris spun it. Oh, no.
White flags out.
Yeah. He kept it going. Unfortunately, he lost about 7 or 8 positions, which would be pretty critical in the points. Looks like he's got some damage. He's having trouble here, but Jonathan Jennings takes the checkered flag after leading most of the race. Good win for Jonathan. He survived. He had the strategy. Let's stay out of front of this mess all night, and that's what he did. We had Chuck Sweeting second. Christopher Simon crossed the line in third to round out the podium. Josh Cully got a hard fought fourth place. And look at Mark Dumont, wound up with the top 5 after starting with the EOL and pass through. Jason Ross was 6th. Eric Anderson finished 7th. Again, after an EOL. So Dumont and Anderson really made the most out of their day. And Jonathan Smith wound up 8th after falling 3 laps down, and Chris Leftwich, last one on the lead lap at 9th position. Steve Gerber rounded out the top 10. So that was definitely a interesting race. I don't want to say it was a good race, but it definitely had its fair share of cautions. But again, we made it through it and be ready for a week off. I think all these drivers be ready for a week off as we do take that 1 week break here.
Yeah, after tonight, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of drivers ready for that break.
After tonight, you'll see, Jonathan Jennings is going to really extend that points lead out to a very comfortable lead. So, you win 4 out of the first 5 races. Even when they start talking drops and stuff at the end, it's going to be really hard for anybody to overcome that unless they go on a serious winning streak and Jonathan gets some really bad luck. But Jonathan's really racking up the stage points along with the wins. So he's maximizing the points right now.
Yeah, he certainly is. I guess looks like we've got him in the waiting room. We go ahead and pull up our winner.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, Jonathan, it was a eventful night for you. It wasn't just clean and green. How was you able to make your way back through the pack at that one point and get back up there to the lead to finish it off?
Patience most of the time, but I got into the one a little bit there, but I don't know. Felt like I got blocked a few too many times, and I don't know. I couldn't get on the brakes hard enough to keep from sending him a little bit, so that's on me.
Yeah, it's a short track. I didn't see anything intentional with it. I seen the block, so it is what it is, right? It's Martinsville short track.
Yeah, I'm glad he saved it. But certainly not how we want to race, but at least we didn't completely take each other out. So
yeah.
Yeah, and definitely, I know you was able to get the pole tonight, and I think that was really critical to stay in, and for the most part, ahead of most of these caution flags. But how was the tires? It looked like just a bunch of short runs, but was the heat cycle anything, or did you even have a chance to go through a complete cycle, to heat up the tires any? Just how did that go tonight?
Other than the restarts, I don't know. The old tire's really hard to tell with many cautions. They were spinning up quite a bit on restarts. So, actually, somebody almost got me on a restart. So, It was a tense moment.
Yeah, for sure. Restarts were definitely a challenge tonight. We had a really good green flag run out the first of it, and it looked like hopefully, we was going to have that type of race. But of course, cautions breed cautions when it comes to Martinsville. So, got a week off. You've got a good points lead now. 4 out of the first 5 races. How you feeling going into the rest of the season?
I'm I'm good for now until we get to Super Speedway. Then it's back to not liking it. So
Yeah.
after this race, I might miss another Thursday night. So I do not want to pace.
Yeah, I understand. Um, well, you got any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, y'all, you guys for the broadcast. All my teammates for everything they do. All the admins for putting all this together and dealing with the craziness every now and then. And all the league sponsors. Damn it, I say. Oh, sorry. I say I'm going to remember this
you're
every
good.
week, and I don't. Auto Pros, Group 6, Shoney, every sponsor we've got. I've really got to get a readout here for that. And at least I got the right one for the series this time.
Yeah, we appreciate that, man. Well, thank you again. I'm sure we'll see you in here. We'll be off next Sunday, but we'll see you in a couple weeks. And have a good rest of your night.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, that was your first place finisher, Jonathan Jennings. Bring up Chuck Sweeting. Chuck, is Daniel and Jamie, you got us?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good. It looked like you had a eventful evening. Getting through the traffic looked challenging at points. So tell us about how your night was.
Yeah, it was eventful. I think it was eventful for everybody. But I ended up the same place I usually end up, with second place to Jonathan. But I don't know. Maybe one of these nights I'll figure it out and be able to outrun him. But just got to keep trying. But it's a pretty good race overall. I kind of put a little too much rear brake in that one time and spun out going into turn one. I'm sure you saw that. I'm like, well, maybe not that much rear brake. So I just kind of took it easy after that and dodged a few more and then ended up there at second at the end.
Yeah, definitely. And, we saw you kind of work your way up through the field in the beginning, but just how tense was it getting up through the field?
It was pretty tense. I mean, once, the first run we got going pretty good, everybody was fine. But once we started having cautions, I think a lot of guys were, I think almost everybody was restarting in second gear, and I wasn't. I was restarting in third gear, which didn't seem to hurt me. But some of them would start spinning the tires and get away from them. So those restarts were pretty scary. And then, once we got going, it was usually okay. But then, cautions breed caution, so that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, I just did my best to avoid them and hung on to get second there at the end.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Daniel.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it looked like strategy played out pretty good, and you were able to get through everything and stayed good enough. It was a nice rebound after that spin early on and coming back to second. So before we let you go, though, you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Just thanks to you guys for the awesome broadcast. Thanks to Auto Pro for sponsoring the trucks here, and all the other sponsors and admins for all the hard work they do. And appreciate all the respect from the other drivers. And nobody here seems to be a dirty driver in any way. So it's a lot of pleasure to run with these guys, and appreciate them having me. And we'll take a break and then come back in 2 weeks and see if we can't knock that 25 off of the podium there.
All right. Well, congratulations on second, and have a good night.
Thanks. You guys have a great night too.
You too. All right. We're going to bring up another Shoney's driver, Christopher Simon, coming home in third. Christopher, is Jamie and Daniel in the booth? You got us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, you come home in third place tonight. A good run by you after having to miss last week for a good reason, I'd say.
Yep.
So tell us about your night and how you was able to make your way through all the incidents and get up there to a third place finish.
I just kept it easy during the whole run. Like, I didn't push it or anything or got loose on the turns there. I just kept going on the how you say being easy on the throttle there, braking like not too hard at the turns, and just keeping behind the guys in front of me. I was behind like 2 cars in front of me for most of the race, and then later on I started to lose positions a little bit because other guys had better run than me. But uh, all in all, like just saving and just keeping pace helped me get the 3rd place there.
Yeah, you run in the front most of the night, so it looked like it was a good night for you, and yeah.
So yeah, Chris. It looked like again you had a really good night. For a long time, you had the least amount of incidents on the tracks. You was keeping it fairly clean. Um, how when I noticed a lot of these drivers, they were just getting in and spinning. Getting into either 3 or 1, just too heavy and just spinning out. I mean, how how was the braking tonight? It just seems like a lot of these guys, if you just overshot just a little bit, you was going to come around in the middle of the corner.
Braking wasn't too bad. I wasn't braking like 80 or 70%. I think going too much brake will make your car just spin out on you. I was going more for like between 50 and 60% on the brake and just holding it there for a little bit and then like easing out of it and then getting for the turn with the throttle there. So I was able to keep it under me and all, not getting it sideways. Only a few times I got loose, like I think 2 or 3 times I got a little loose, but I was able to correct it and keep it going.
Yeah, and again, I know you missed last week, but lucky we got the drop races and got a good solid finish. So hopefully, you still got a good chance at making your way up these point standings. So it's been, I guess we're off next week, but again, congratulations on the good finish. You got any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out my family. They watch every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and also today too on Sundays. So, shout out to them. Shout out to my teammates, Jennings, Chris, and Mike. Like they're really good teammates up there, running up there. Also, I want to apologize to Chris for getting into him a little bit there at the last few laps, but it was just hard racing there and all. So it's just really fun racing with these guys, and also want to thank you guys for the broadcast. Thank the sponsors, the sponsors this race, Shoney's and all, and thank you to the other admins as well.
Awesome. Well, hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I'm sure we'll see you in some racing as the week goes.
Yep, sure will.
All right. Have a good night, Chris.
You too.
All right, that's going to do it for our top 3. We'll go over the finishing grid real quick. Jonathan Jennings brought it home in first. Chuck Sweeting in second. In third was Christopher Simon, followed by Josh Cully in fourth. Mark Dumont with a 5th place finish. A nice rebound for him. Jason Ross in 6th. 7th, Eric Anderson. 8th was Jonathan Smith. Chris Leftwich in 9th. Steve Gerber in 10th. In 11th, Carson Burrows. 12th, Mike Leftwich. 13th was Kevin Brown. 14th, Justin McMahon. Gary Armijo in 15th. Adam Wickel in 16th. 17th, Jeffrey Engel. And Michael Dow in 18th. Well, Daniel, this was an eventful night.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we got a week off, but then it's Bristol. So, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully much better than tonight, but it is what it is. That's we got a tough schedule for the next probably at least 2 races before really honestly, really the next 4 or 5 races. Even before we get to Memorial Day is going to be really interesting for these guys, and a lot can happen in the point standings. But yes, we'll see. We'll see. But next week we're off. Hope everybody will tune in Tuesday night to Intensity Broadcasting to check the Trackside NASCAR Outlet Gen 4 series. And then Thursday night, right here, back on Doghouse Racing TV, you got the Group 6 Cup Series with a really good race again here at Martinsville. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully better than tonight. Not as many cautions, but we'll see what happens when we put 35 to 40 drivers on this track.
Well, one less because I can't be more happy than now to be able to say that I'm going to be going out of town, so I won't be here.
Yep, definitely might be a good one to miss. So, all right, well, for Jamie Horn and Daniel Wilkerson here, and on behalf of all of Doghouse Racing League, thank you for watching, and we will see you Thursday night for the Doghouse Cup Series broadcast back here at Martinsville.